Hi everyone, Tori here with another Project Life Process video. This one is called Blue Jays in July, and I am going to be scrapbooking some photos from last year July, so July 2014. I'm showing you some of the ones that I might be using. I didn't end up using all of these. I decided to just use the photos that were about going to see Blue Jays games or going to see just my friends play baseball, or our church picnic where there was baseball, because I just felt like there were a lot of baseball pictures from last year, July. So I decided to put them all on one Project Life Process video or one Project Life page. And so the collage photo that's in the middle right there, that was from some of my friends and I going to see a Blue Jays game. So I live in Toronto, or just north of Toronto, and we have the Blue Jays here, which I love the Blue Jays. They haven't been winning that much. Well, actually, they haven't been doing that bad this season, but I love going to see the Blue Jays game. And so I made a collage of photos from when my friends from church and I went to see the Blue Jays. And then the top photo with me in the middle is of two friends of mine, Martha and Jenica, where we were sitting outside watching some of my friends who are in a baseball league playing. And then the smaller photo that I just cut that's in the middle there is from a baseball game that happened at our church picnic. So every year we have a church picnic and they do over 30, under 30 baseball games. So everybody under 30 plays the over 30s and they get really competitive, and that year the under 30s won. So I'm not a big baseball player. I'm not very athletic at all. So I don't actually play, but I really enjoy watching it. So all of these photos are of me watching other people play baseball, and I'm quite happy to do that actually. So I'm just starting the same way that I always start all of my layouts. First, I pick my photos and lay those out on the page and figure out where I want those. Then I grab Project Life cards and lay those out on the page where I want those. Now, I just got my Photo Fuse tool, and I did make a how-to video about how to use that, so if you're wondering, it's the last video that I posted. And I decided that I wanted to use it on this layout, and I wanted to use it with these really cute painted cards that I got this month in my Studio Calico kit. And I thought it would be fun to put the cards in the pocket, but they're not a full 3x4, so then I thought I'd just put some sequins underneath them too. But one of the things that I learned while playing with the Photo Fuse is that you have to decide what you want on both sides of the card, because once you seal it, it's stuck in there. So I'm just playing around with the cards trying to decide which ones to use. And then I grabbed the rest of the Project Life cards from the kit and went through those ones too, trying to pick the ones that I want. I knew that I wanted to go sort of with a blue color here because it's the Blue Jays, but I also am going to end up using blue and red, which makes it look a little like 4th of July, but I figure I'm Canadian and it's going to be in my Canadian scrapbook. Not that it's a Canadian scrapbook, that sounds funny. It sounds like it's a scrapbook all about Canada. It's not. It's a scrapbook of me in Ontario. So I guess it's fine. But if you're an American, it probably looks sort of 4th of July to you. And it looks 4th of July to me because I end up using red, white, and blue. But really, the point was to use blue for the Blue Jays. So go Blue Jays. So just picking the cards and papers that I want to use. So I know that I want to use two of those, I think it's Katie Young painted squares for the two shaker pocket kind of things that I'm doing. And then I'm trying to pick the patterns for the other ones. And I have lots of 3x4, 4x4, and paper pads this month because I got the Project Life kit. Plus, I got one add-on for half price, and then I got the card subscriber special, which was an extra paper pad. And then I also got a grab bag during last call with small papers, which was 4x6 or 4x6 or 6x6 papers. So I have lots of papers, and I'm having fun playing with them. And I like to cut those 4x6s down into 3x4 slots, or I like to cut the large 6x6 paper pads down into 4x6 cards and then just round the corner, and they look like Project Life cards. So I decided to use a lot of journaling on this card because I want to talk about all the baseball that I love. So I grabbed one of those 4x6 cards that had journaling lines on it, and I'm going to use that in the bottom right hand corner. But I also really wanted to use that Project Life card that said summertime, summertime, summertime again and again, and it has sort of like an ombre pinkish purple look. And I'm going to use that too in that bottom card. I'm just going to trim it. And I decided to just sort of lay out all the cards, round all the corners, and then I'll stick down all the the photos and everything, and then after that I will begin embellishing. And that's pretty much the same method of Project Life that I do all the time. So if you've watched my process videos, you know that I typically stick to the same format. Put the photos out, put the cards out, stick everything down, and then embellish. And that's the same thing I do every single time. So sorry if it's boring you, but I think all my layouts look different even though I have the same like method to my madness. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, like I mentioned, I need to pick the backs of those cards where I'm going to put the sequins, just because once I seal it, you won't be able to add it later. So I have to choose now. So I decided that on the other side I was going to use pinks. And I picked those two cards, the one with the arrows and the one with those like wonky diamonds, and they'll be on the other side. I moved all my photos and my cards so that I could use my photo fuse tool. And again, if you want to learn more about this, there is a how-to video. So I did something stupid here, which I left it in so that you could see the stupid thing I did. I sealed it before I put any sequins in. Thankfully, which is a good thing that I am not perfect at this, it didn't seal perfectly, so there was still a hole. So that worked out well. So I just used my bone folder to stick the blue sequins down through the little hole where I hadn't completely sealed it. So I stick some sequins and then I fuse a spot that's about, I don't know, maybe half an inch. Yeah, it's about half an inch, and put blue sequins in. And then I'm going to lay the card on top. Now I had not adhered them perfectly, so there was a little white hanging over, so I just fixed that. Then I'm going to use my photo fuse tool and just fuse up the top there. Now originally I thought I put sequins on top and below those cards, but then there wasn't as much space as I thought there was. So I end up just putting it below, and it doesn't really fit above because there's not room to fuse it, but whatever, I think it works fine. So I decided to put pink sequins on the other side, so blue on one side, pink on the other, and I thought the pink sequins would look cute with that, like, ice cream, what is that? Popsicle. It's not ice cream, it's like a popsicle, red, white, and blue popsicle. And so I'm just doing that, put the pink sequins in, seal it up, and I sealed it at the same width as the other side. Then I stick my card in, and then I seal up the top, and it's super fun. And I just wanted to say that I'm having lots of fun playing with my fuse tool. I think the key is going to be to keep it out and about so that I don't forget about it. Oh, and did you notice that I said about, not a boot? Just by the way, all Canadians don't say a boot. Look at this, like a Canadian scrapbook page. Okay, sorry, I'm tired. Okay, it is 10 o'clock at night on Sunday, and I have about 5 or 6 process videos to do audio over for them so that you can eventually watch some videos. So you're just going to have to stick with me here. So I felt like that summertime card just needed a little something to make it pop. So I had this little tiny ink pad that I got at A Beautiful Mess. It came in a kit from the photo class that I took over there, and they sent that and some other things. And so I hadn't used it, but it's this really pretty like pink color. It's like sort of really bright pink, but I felt like it would look good on the page, so I used that to go around that summertime part, and then I also went around that white 3x4 card that I'm going to put in the middle. Now I figured I'd stamp the date now before I forgot. What I do is I print my photos using my Canon Selfie, which I love that thing. It's like the best. It's so amazing. I print my photos with my Canon Selfie, and typically what I do is I print in all the photos that I want to scrap for a month. So not like a month of time, but I mean like the month that I'm scrapping. So I do scrap chronologically, although I am behind. So, okay, this is confusing. I was trying to be simple. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, I scrap photos from last year, but I scrap chronologically. So right now, this layout is July. So I'm currently working on all the photos from July last year. So what I do is I print off all the photos from July last year using my Canon Selfie. And I print them in all different sizes. Ones that I really like, I print bigger. Ones that I still like but don't want as big, I print 3x4s. And then the ones that I want to keep in my pages but don't necessarily need like a whole page or a whole spot, I put on a collage like the one that you see in the bottom left. So I print them all off at once, but I want to know when they're taken. So when I print them off, on the back of the photo in pen, I just write the date. So I'll write July 23rd or July 19th, which is when we went to the Blue Jays game. And so I'll just write that in pen on the back of the photo. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to stamp the date using my roller date stamp before I forgot, because once I stick the photo down, I can't remember what the date was. And I have the worst memory ever. So I have to stamp it right away, or else I'm going to forget, even though I had just looked at it like 1 minute ago. My memory is literally that bad. Okay, back to what I'm doing here. I decided that I wanted to put July on this title card because this is going to be the first spread in the month of July. So it starts the month of July. So I thought it would be good to put that on there. And I have this really awesome stamp set that I just got in the mail today. Well, today that I'm making this layout. And it is the add-on, or it's not an add-on, it's the stamp set that comes with the new Paige Evans class over at Studio Calico. And the name of the class is completely lost from my brain. But it's a brand new class, and I think it starts soon. And it comes with this really awesome stamp set. Alpha stamp set where the letters have different designs in them and stuff. So I decided to use that for the title, July, and I used that same little ink pad that came from A Beautiful Mess that I used earlier to just stamp out the letters for July. I stamped them out on some just scrap white paper and then trimmed around them so that they'd have that little white edge around them. Then I used a Zig 2-way glue pen to glue those down. I hadn't, is that a word? I forgot to turn on my hot glue gun, which is my normal adhesive of choice. And as I was working, I was thinking about that, and I was just thinking, oh, it's going to take forever to heat up. So I decided to just use my Zig 2-way glue pen. Now I'm just adding some final embellishments to just take the page to another level. I add some puffy stickers, one that are blue that I got this month in my kit. One's a snap or hello you, and I added those on the bottom. Then I added a label and some things like that on the top card of my friend Martha, Jenica and I. Then I grabbed these black stickers. They're really great. They're phrase stickers, and I'm gonna put this phrase on that photo of our church picnic baseball game. It just says, "Keep your face towards the sunshine," which I thought was really cute. And I just grabbed a pink puffy sticker to just add there too, just to add a little more embellishment. And I'm going to, what else? Oh, I layered it over a little bit, so I just trimmed that off. I decided I wanted to do some stamping on the page because I'm really trying to make a concerted effort to use the stamps that I get in the kit. And the Project Life stamp this month was like this little label piece with these words that fit into the label. So the words that I'm using are these days, and I decided to just trim around that and place that on that upper photo of me and my two friends watching a baseball game. And we're all snuggled up behind a blanket because it was sort of cool outside. And then I just trim around that and I stick that up there, and I'm going to use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to just put a staple in there. Again, I didn't have any adhesive, so that's how I was doing that. And now I'm going to add my journaling, and I'm just going to journal about how one of my favorite things to do is go to see baseball games and watch baseball games, and how much I love the Blue Jays, and how it reminds me of when I was a little girl going to see Blue Jays games with my dad, and that those are just really special memories. So I think that's why I like baseball so much, because it reminds me of times with my dad. So that's basically it. I'll have some still photos for you and everything, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've entered my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which I'll link up in the comments for you. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!